Finally, someone to challenge John Quinn for large head supremacy.
That's... Oh, I didn't even do the opening sting. Look at that.
Are we just right in the show now?
We are kind of. Nope.
Okay, Quinn. Okay. Just tell us what to do. I don't know what's happening.
Welcome everybody to eSportsCanadaTV episode number 51. We're now an old man. Old man realist, perhaps?
We're going to have our midlife crisis soon, aren't we?
I'm terrified. We're going to have to take like a 9-week break.
We're going to have to use all our esports dollar to buy ourselves like a scooter or something.
I would like that. What are those? They used to hawk them during Price is Right, and it would be the guy at like the Grand Canyon screaming about it.
I don't remember.
Come
It
on.
wasn't a big Price is Right.
The guy who sold them, his name was Tom Cruise.
What?
Come on. Daniels, nothing?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Oh my good God. If anyone in chat knows the name of the scooter for old people. It was an old
Segway.
No.
No,
Old people
wait.
don't drive Segways.
Yeah, they do. Didn't the guy who created the Segway die by driving a Segway off the cliff?
How does that make him an old person?
Because he was old at the time?
Well, okay.
Touché.
The hover round? I think it might have been called the hover round.
Oh man, you were
We'll
speaking
Google that.
another language right now.
We'll Google that. I'm your host, Quinn in the Net. You can follow me on Twitter. I officially have more followers than I do followees. So that's a momentous occasion, and I will celebrate
Nice.
that by introducing my two co-hosts, ESC Joby and ESC Songers. Nick, Frank, how you doing this evening?
You know, if you followed us, maybe that wouldn't be the case, jerk. But I'm well. How are you doing, Songers?
Doing pretty good. Working on some banners right now, but we're doing pretty well.
I like that. And of course, we have our in-house fighting experts from Ralston Arcade, Mr. Mike Daniels. Michael, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show once again.
No problem. I think you're our highest returning guest at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering when you're just going to make me a regular host.
Nick Song's probably got about 5 more episodes left on his contract, and we are not renewing it. And
Okay.
So we'll probably just, bring you right on.
Sounds good.
Sweet.
I'll just slide into that top spot there.
Best
It'll be
spot.
like Hollywood Squares.
I like it. So the
I'll pick
rundown...
Mike Daniels for the X.
The rundown for tonight, of course, our major guest for this evening. You may know him from the fighting community. He runs CEO down in Orlando, one of the biggest fighting tournaments in the world, I'm told. And his name is Alex Jebailey. He is a Nova Scotia native, and he now lives down in Florida. And he's going to be coming up for Frag for Cancer 8, coming up October 19th and 20th at Dalhousie University in Halifax. So he's going to come on the show and talk to us about that, and of course participate in the Lauded Lightning Round. Also, Mike Daniels listed in the rundown. We don't have to talk about him. Frag for Cancer, of course, we're going to talk about that. And just fighting games and CEO in general, because I want to know more. Because supposedly Jebailey does a lot of wrestling-infused type of fighting game things. Steel cages and wrestling rings. So I'm interested to hear about that, because I am, of course, a wrestling fan from back in the day, circa like 2000 to 2006. I.e. the glory years.
Good era.
Wouldn't every wrestling fan argue about the glory?
Oh,
glory
100%. 100%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yours is pretty recent. Yours is Stone Cold and The Rock and stuff.
Yeah, Triple H.
Black?
I was actually more into Japanese wrestling.
Mm.
But that's just
Whoa.
because I'm an elitist prick.
Those were crazy.
I guess so.
But I know we have about another 5 to 10 minutes maybe to kill before Alex is going to join us. Frank, you were talking earlier about some CSGO altercations, and I know Mike said he was a CSGO expert out of the blue.
Sure.
He's an expert of everything. Every time we have him on, he's like, "Oh, guys, I didn't know to do this. I happen to be an expert on geraniums, and I heard you guys talk about it 2 seconds ago." But in all honesty, yeah, there's some stuff that went down in the CSGO community. I actually have some guests lined up for next week to maybe give us a close down on all the major tournaments that happened, plus the controversy. But because we should probably touch on it because it's fresh, there's some controversy in the CSGO community. Apparently, Team Fnatic was facing against Team NIP. And what happened was there was some sort of an issue. An admin canceled the game that Fnatic was winning, so then they had to play it again. And I guess there was some stuff that happened in between them. Fnatic ends up winning that game, and they go hardcore like BM. They start swearing at the other team, saying you're garbage, all this stuff. And then they refused to shake hands with one of the players. I think his name is Get Right. Yeah, Get Right. So, and it was like huge controversy. Everybody was talking about it because I know BM is BM, right? But this was like a lot of focus on this. Apparently later on, Fnatic had to replay them and they ended up losing. So that's kind of sad for them, given all the BM that they threw out there. But I don't know, Daniel, did you get to see that?
Sorry, what? Yeah.
Making a real good case for yourself here, Daniels, to keep
That
returning
expert.
to the show.
Yeah, no, I saw the match. They didn't shake hands at the end. I will say that CSGO is one of the few communities that comes as close to the fighting game community as possible with BM and people trashing each other and getting in people's faces, but you still have to shake hands. And Fnatic, the bosses at Fnatic came out and, on Twitter and said under no circumstances would we find it acceptable not to shake hands at the end of the match, and we've told the team and they've been reprimanded, that sort of thing. So you got to shake hands at the end of the match, even though you trash talked and said things about their mom and things like that. You still have to shake hands at the end. Part of it has to do with NIP in general, I think. For those not familiar, Ninjas in Pajamas is the most dominant CSGO team basically there ever was. Up until just recently, they'd never lost a LAN tournament ever. They have lost one now, but since then they've dominated the scene for almost a year and a half. So they've never lost a tournament, and I think that's part of where the BM comes from, and that when you finally beat Ninjas in Pajamas, then you really want to, really rub it in their face, so to speak. So the not shaking hands and the trash talking is probably part of that. But at the end of the day, you do have to shake hands. And Fnatic did get reprimanded for it. But NIP still won the tournament, so it doesn't really...
in the end, I guess it didn't matter. But somebody in our chat actually posted the translation of what was said, and it's pretty salty language. I know that we were at a tournament recently that had CSGO, and they were definitely the loudest group there. And I'm like, we didn't have fighting games community there, but CSGO, there was TF2, StarCraft, and Dota, I think. I don't know if there was League of Legends, I forget. I don't think there was. So, but CSGO is definitely the most vocal, just yelling, screaming, not only commands, but like when they won, just chanting it out. So, yeah, it wasn't too uncommon, but the words they said were kind of salty.
Yeah, so it was.
I think it has to do with the whole team atmosphere too. You get amped up because of your teammates, right? You practice together. You're in it together. It's that other person that you can be like, "Wow, wasn't that amazing?" Or "Wow, isn't that guy a douchebag?" And you hype each other up way more than I think a 1v1 type of situation.
Yeah. And then you get into situations where, people come up with clutches where it's 1v4, 1v3, 1v5, and they make a huge comeback, and then that guy just goes absolutely bananas, celebrating, trash talking, doing whatever. But that kind of overshadowed, probably the biggest CSGO announcement ever, which was made today as well.
Which is?
So CSGO was really jelly of Valve's commitment to Dota 2 and how big the international was and how much money the international was getting. So they released a new patch for CSGO I'd say about a month or two ago, just around the same time as the international, where you could buy skins for your gun. You could buy skins for your pistol, your AWP, your rifle, whatever it may be, and then that would go into a community prize pool for an upcoming tournament similar to the international. So basically the same way you buy compendiums and skins in Dota, you could do that with CSGO, and that just came out like a month ago, and Valve just announced that there'll be a $250,000 prize pool for CSGO at DreamHack Winter.
Nice.
Yeah, whereas NIP has won every single major CSGO LAN in a year and a half, and each of the 5 main members of NIP have won about $20,000 each. So now they've won 13, 14 LANs in a year and a half. So now you have a $250,000 prize pool at DreamHack Winter. So it's gigantic for CSGO. Yeah, so DreamHack Winter is going to be redonkulous. So they have CSGO 250,000. Street Fighter 4 is going to have a bigger prize pool than Evo, and then of course StarCraft 2's $80,000 prize pool.
Wow.
For SC2. DreamHack Winter is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, people were kind of talking about the prize pool for DreamHack for at least StarCraft being kind of low, but it is one of their I don't want to say minor events, but it is a smaller one. I mean, they have DreamHack Summer and DreamHack Winter, which are their majors for the year, but then they do go to Bucharest, they go to Valencia, they go to the smaller places and still put on quality tournaments, but it's just not the same prize pool as their winter and their summer championships.
Yeah, and their winter is like the kind of the grand championship where you get seeding points, and the top 4 in StarCraft for each of the minor stops gets automatic seeds into DreamHack Winter. So DreamHack Winter is their BlizzCon of their circuit kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, DreamHack Winter is going to be insane this year.
There's something I actually I was thinking about as you were mentioning it earlier. I know that first-person shooters were definitely one of the pioneers in esports, right? They were definitely had a big scene. I think there's something that holds them back, though. Like when you look at a game like Dota, it's in fantasy. A game like StarCraft, it's fantasy. But CS:GO is like innately realistic, and it's about a pretty sensitive subject. And like all over the place, you're going to find lobbyists who are saying no more of this guns and violence and stuff. Do you think that is holding it back? Like, why can't, because CSGO, what's holding it from being like one of the biggest premier esports? Why can't it achieve that limelight as other ones like Dota, LoL, and let's say even StarCraft?
Well, I think the competitive scene for 1.6 got to the point where as if you weren't in that top tier, like, I mean, how StarCraft now, it's, if you're a new player, it's pretty hard to kind of keep going and grinding it out, right? It's not the same sort of fun it was at launch where all your friends were playing. Unless you're playing kind of competitively, it's not as fun. So I think people still have that memories from CS where they look at Go now and go, well, I don't really want to start playing because I'm just going to get my ass handed to me again and again and again. Whereas all the pro players from CSGO are kind of nostalgic about 1.6 and say, oh, it's not as good as 1.6 was. The same way that when SC2 came out, people were saying, well, it's no Brood War, it's no Brood War. And so you kind of have these both ends of the spectrum kind of shying away a bit from the game. And so you got to kind of rely on this middle chunk who's passionate about the game, and they have to carry the weight, the same as SC2 is at right now.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple other factors as well. I think John makes a lot of really good points, and I agree with him that people still have this kind of like nostalgic, rosy-colored glasses about 1.6. I think Valve's support has been lacking, especially considering how much they support Dota 2. But now with this big tournament, I think you're going to see CSGO come back big and in a big way because CSGO is hype as heck. Really, really hype. But they're also still smarting from the CLG. I forget what the abbreviation was, but at one point CS was on like DirecTV and had a major TV contract in the US, and like that's how DJ Week got into casting and stuff. He casted the show on DirecTV, and like everyone got Lamborghinis and were getting 6-figure contracts, and then like DirecTV cut the contract like 3 months in because the ratings weren't there, and then they all went bankrupt and people lost a lot of money and stuff. So they're still kind of smarting from that. That was like early 2000s, but CS has been CS has been around for a really long time, but I think they're still smarting from that situation as well. But with Valve supporting it now, I think CS:GO is going to get really big.
I don't want to cut you off, Mike, but I think Alex is ready. If you do want to re-add him here to the chat, and then I can do the painful task of redoing the overlays.
So now that he's re-added, when he turns on his camera and everything, and while John's doing that, Mike, I want to draw your attention to a question from the chat. It seems Vince is holding his own, but somebody asked why the Canadian fighting games community is so bad. What do you have to say to that?
What, bad is in skill level, or?
I don't know, maybe. But Vince said, America has more jobless bums with time to play video games. So I'm assuming, they're bad. They can't win tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Well, America has 10 times the population we do. That might help out a little bit. But I think we're actually very good at fighting games considering our population and how spread out we are. I mean, Disgruntled Goa came second in Marvel at Toryuken 2 in May and beat Yipes twice, not just once, but twice. And Yipes played his 2 best teams, and Goa beat him, and he's Canadian, so...
and we do a pretty good showing at Canada Cup as well, don't we?
Yeah, we do a good showing at Canada Cup. Chai Rithi has won major tournaments, and he's Canadian. So I wouldn't say we're bad. I don't think we have the depth that America has, but we definitely have a lot of top-tier talent.
I would agree. So you can see now that we do have our guest du jour, Mr. Alex Jebailey. Alex, welcome to the show. I think you might be muted, Alex.
Oh, we can hear ourselves. Echo.
Uh,
I'm still getting no audio from Alex.
Let's see what Vince has to say. What's the White House is the tournament? No. Never mind. It seems like there's going to be... No, I'm just wondering if there's like some heated debate happening in the chat.
Are you good, Alex? Mic working?
How about now?
There we go.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
I was going to say, what the hell happened to JS Master, Mike?
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Sorry, dude. My memory's not that good. I'm trying to remember CS:GO, StarCraft, Dota, fighting games all in one night.
No worries.
Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. How's everyone doing?
We're doing fantastic.
Great, thanks.
In the past, we've had such fighting elite as Mike Daniels and Vince Hui on. So right now, you are, without a doubt, the biggest fighting game member we've ever had on eSports Canada TV. So congratulations for that.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
And I mean that with the most disrespect possible to Mike Daniels.
By all means, go for it.
So
I'm gonna be. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna give him so much shit when I'm in Canada. It's not even funny.
I'll be ready for it.
Join the line, man. It's gonna be.
Yeah, John Quinn does that pretty good.
There's a waiting list. Alex, I'm just kind of doing up the screen regions here. But whenever we have a guest on the show, we do like to start it off with the simple questions for anyone that may not know you. So if you can tell us who you are, where you're from, where you live now, and how you got involved with the fighting game community.
All right. Well, my name's Alex Jebailey. I run CEO down in Orlando, Florida. If you don't know what that is, it's a fighting game tournament. Next year will be its 5th year. I was originally born, and this is why I'm so excited to come out to Frag for Cancer. I was actually born in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Shortly after my birth, though, my family moved, youngest of 4 kids, and we've been living in Orlando ever since. But I have been back up there about 6 times. Both parents are Middle Eastern, so I am Canadian Lebanese living in Orlando, Florida. And yeah, I've just been in the scene since about 2001 officially. I've been running a lot of tournaments, organizing smaller events when I went to college here in Orlando, Florida. So I've been around for a pretty long time, and I just like bringing people together. I also like still to compete, and just fighting games is great. And when he was saying, you know, how negative fighting games are in trash talk days aren't as bad as they used to be. So CS:GO can take that title now.
So obviously a lot of people know about Community Effort Orlando. Can you talk me through kind of how that started?
Sure. I mean, it does have a pretty crazy history. People that have been interested know about. But, you know, like I said, I've been doing tournaments for a very long time, and I had never imagined I would do a yearly one, a big one in Florida, because Florida was always considered like a black sheep of the community, and we can never really get big players to come out. And long story short, a guy canceled his event about 3 weeks before, promising the whole world, and he bailed on us. And the whole community was like, what are we going to do? We had, you know, all these people are still coming to our city. And I pretty much just stepped up, said, all right, screw it, guys. Help me out. Help me run this tournament. I'll pay for it. I'll put it together within 3 weeks. And we put it together. You know, it brought about 300 people. Our community is pretty big on its own. And, you know, it was a great time. It wasn't about money or anything. It was just bringing everybody in to play fighting games. Yeah. And to that day, that was still Florida's like biggest fighting game tournament, at least especially since the early 2000s when CVS2 and Third Strike were popular. And yeah, and then once that was over, I'm like, you know what? I think I want to do this again and do it every year. Let's see how big I can get it the next year. And that's where I had a year to plan rather than 3 weeks. And that was the second year. And now this year was the 4th year. We had nearly 2,000 people show up. So, you know, as big as my ego is, it means the world to me that people appreciate the event, have a good time, and I just want to keep it going.
Awesome.
Now, I know with Mike Daniels and Ralston Arcade, Mike runs every Tuesday night. They do kind of casuals. Is that something you run as well outside of your major tournament for the year?
You know, I actually do monthly events, or at least bi-monthly now. Before the very first CEO, for 10 months straight, I ran a monthly in Orlando. So I had the build-up. The very first tournament I did for Street Fighter 4 only had 14 people in it. And this was in Orlando, Florida. It just goes to show you that you can start something from, you know, you still need a big community around, but if you start small, it could only get better from there as long as each tournament's run well. What was the question? God dang it. I have a lot on my mind right now. I had a big Microsoft meeting an hour ago. I'm still excited.
It's fine.
What was the question?
No, just was it a kind of a transition from those weekly events to the major?
Exactly. I basically used my experience from that, and when Vanilla Street Fighter 4 came out, I was pretty much like top 3 player in Florida. I suck now because I don't play as much as I used to, but I was winning each monthly, and every time I won the money, I literally would go out and buy a Evo monitor or an Xbox to run my own events. So each time I won, I'd be like, all right, guys, remember, when I win, everybody wins. I would put it right back into the community because I just want to keep gathering it. And then my monthly started getting so big, I would have like 200 people, 300 people. And these were at like just bars and restaurants. And, it was getting too big. So that's when, the first year I did the not a big ballroom, but the 3 weeks planning, all I could find was an airplane hangar, as we called it. It was just a 10,000 square foot fairgrounds indoor. The AC broke. It was miserable, but everyone had a good time. And then after that, because that event was good, I started doing an event like maybe once every 3 months because I couldn't do it. I have a day job, and now I finally found a new hotel venue that isn't as big as the big one in June, but it can fit comfortably 500 people, and I got it at a great price because I signed a few months at a time. And so yeah, now I can start doing them every 2 months at least before the big one.
Nice.
Because you should keep your players hungry in your local community.
That's true.
But we have such a good family here in Florida. I love seeing everybody together, have a good time.
Fantastic.
So I do it as much as I can. If I didn't work a full-time job, I'd probably do a weekly in my house like every day. So, but I don't have that kind of time.
And what do you do for your full-time job outside of fighting games?
My family moved down from Canada, and my father, when he first moved here, he opened up a hotel, actually, one of the first before Disney came in and took over everything. And he also sold tickets to Disney World. And in the mid-'90s, he sold off the hotel, kept the office, and him and my oldest brother, we just do Disney World and theme park tickets in Orlando. So
Cool.
been running a family business forever.
Nice.
So yeah, it's simple, repetitive. I get the dumbest questions, but you got to think of it this way: it's their first time going on vacation. They want to have a good time. You got to help them out.
Yeah.
So
Get Disney to sponsor esports.
I've tried, man, but it doesn't work like that. I've tried.
That's
Oh man.
hilarious.
You mean what? You guys beat up each other? Forget it.
Yeah, no thanks.
So I have a question because I know your tournaments like to have players play in like a ring or a cage match and stuff. How important, is that for spectacle? Is that for just to make your own identity in a fighting tournament? Or what's the reasoning behind that? Can you walk me through that one?
Sure. The first year, is very simple. It was just about doing the event. The second year, I just got a simple stage, and each CEO basically I fund it completely out of pocket. And every time I get sponsors on board, that really helps me lower the risk of my event. And what happened was the third year, not this year, but the year before, I ended up getting a wrestling ring because A, I'm a huge wrestling fan. And to answer that question, the Attitude Era to this day is still the best era in wrestling history. Unless you want to get technical, then the mid-'80s was the best.
Yeah.
But Attitude Era is basically our generation of fighting game esports players came from the Attitude Era. That was when we were all in high school, early college, and that's when we fell in love with wrestling. And so we still get hype over any kind of reference to that era. And I realized CEO could work a lot like NWO. And at first, I never even thought of a wrestling ring as a stage. I'm like, where do I rent one of those from? And mostly I did it, Evo used a boxing ring like about 8 years before. And they didn't bring it back because they got too commercial, so they can't really use like licensed songs and all that stuff. And I'm still small time technically. And, I was like, all right, so I've realized everybody on my Twitter that's in the FGC loves when, we start conversating about NWO, stuff like that. So that's when the whole NWO theme came up. And Rick from Focus Fire here in America, he designs a lot of stuff for me. And we were just talking. He was a wrestling fan, too. I'm like, you know what? If we're going to do this whole NWO CEO riff, let me start shopping around for a wrestling ring. And I just, all I did was go Google search, rent a wrestling ring. And I looked for like a couple days. I'm like, you know what? Screw it, I'll pull the trigger. And I got the wrestling ring, and I found a company. They had to drive 10 hours from North Carolina to drop it, build it, and everything. Those guys hung out at the hotel all weekend, and it worked, man. People loved it. Unfortunately, the wrestling ring was way too bouncy. I never knew it'd be that bad. So everyone's in the ring, like literally a single tap on like the outside apron, the whole ring would shake, the TV would shake. Like Spooky and I were the first time we were like trying to duct tape the TV to the table just so it wouldn't move. But if you see the Evo monitors, it still wobbles a little bit. So we're like, all right, if you get in the ring, don't shake it, please. And obviously that didn't work out. And everyone liked the ring except for that one problem, but just the spectacle of it, I'm like, you know what? Let me do something different every year. That's why this year I had a steel cage as a second stage, which is just a total random, you know what? Let me just do it. Screw it. And I always get feelers off my community. I always ask them, what do you guys think of this? And if I get an overwhelmingly negative response, I just go, all right, not doing it. But if I get a positive response and people are like, you're not going to do that, I'm like, oh, yeah? Yeah, that's how it happened. And the wrestling ring worked out. And I got a boxing ring this year, which was so much bigger than a wrestling ring, but it was totally solid. So no shaking, and people appreciated more, and people just loved it. I mean, 15 countries were represented this year. The very first CEO, 4 states, and that was it.
Wow.
In America. So it grew, and I really think the wrestling ring and just the spectacle of it really is a big draw, and I got to keep going. So who knows what I'll do next year.
I can't wait to see you drive a player in a la Andre the Giant on the little vehicle down the aisles and have everybody...
I already thought about that. Trust me, I already thought about that. I'll let you know what happens.
I'll look forward to it. Let me ask this. How did you get involved with Frag for Cancer and Frag for Charity in general? I know that you said you're from Halifax, but you moved quickly. So how did you get involved with these guys?
That's a great question. I was at PAX East last year in Boston, or this year. I'm sorry, I'm thinking it's 2014 already. I was at PAX East last year, and Yazid, that runs Frag for Cancer, he actually, I believe it was Facebook, he hit me up and he told me, I'm from Canada, and I don't think he knew I was from Canada, but he's like, I see you're going to PAX, I would love to meet up with you and do an interview. And we had an interview during the show, but we didn't really talk about Frag for Cancer. But we talked, really great guy. He was genuine. I loved what he does with the whole Frag for Cancer, big charity every year. Right. We went out to dinner the following night, and we just sat down and talked, and seemed like a great guy. And then we didn't really talk about Frag for Cancer then. And then he actually came on vacation, personal time, to Orlando, and we went out I took him out to dinner again, and we talked, and he's like, would you be interested in coming out? And at first I'm like, man, October, November's really busy. And then, I'm like, this is a great opportunity to go visit my state, and my birthplace, and check out the scene in my province, check out the scene and stuff. And he invited me out, and I said, whatever I can do to help. And I just love when I can tell when somebody's genuine. I've always had a good judge of character. And when he tells me about, his history with Frag for Cancer, why he enjoys doing it and stuff, I'm like, I would love to help any way I can. So he invited me out. I told my family. At first, my dad's like, why are you going? How many freaking events are you going to? Because I always do YumaCon in Detroit. I had to pass it up for Frag for Cancer, but I passed that along to Mike Ross, so that works out. So I said I would love to come out. I told my family, hey, I'm going back to my birthplace. You're not stopping me. So I got the time off, and I'm really looking forward to it. But he invited me out. Any kind of help I can do to help grow any kind of scene, I'm always there for it. So I'm excited.
Amazing.
We do have one question from chat coming from Toronto Top Tiers, Mr. Vince Hui. Wants to know, what do you think is the number one thing you feel you did that really made your tournament scene grow?
I was born. No, honestly, word of mouth. I think that's how all these events grow. Obviously I always do toot my own horn, but because I believe it to be true, because people egg me on to believe it's true. But I just like to play, and when people see that I'm having a good time running the event, they have a good time too. So it came to word of mouth. I supported as many events as I could in the scene. I always went out, I played. I love to play. Like, if you come up to me and, hey, let's play casuals, or I'll money match you, I'm like, I'll play you for free. They're like, really? I'm like, yes, just get a freaking setup. Let's go. So if they want to give me money, sure. But I just like to play, and it's like a playground to me. I have a great time, and word of mouth and just trust from people. It really takes trust to build an FGC event, because we're not really official. We don't have these big companies that people know building them, so it all comes from trust and slow build up over time. But I've been doing this for 10 years, and people know me by name because I've been playing and organizing. So that really helped. Being a player first always helps when you do this, because you can interact better, not just as an organizer, but as a player, because you actually can create those emotions of kicking someone's ass or learning together, stuff like that. So that was the biggest thing. I think the biggest boom was getting my first sponsor, which was NOS Energy Drink, and then Mad Catz on board. And Road to Evo really helped the first year. I came out of nowhere and I said, could I be on Road to Evo? And I showed them my preview, and they added me on, and right there really helped out. And it's location too. I'm very fortunate to have a good location in Orlando.
Yeah, I find I run tournaments in a very, very small city up here in New Brunswick, St. John, and it's just kind of all those pieces just start to come together where it's like you get that one sponsor and that rolls into like 2 or 3, and all of a sudden the venue comes on board and all these people start coming out of the woodwork and being like, oh, you're running this event, like, can I do this, can I do this? And it's just like, oh, this is actually going to happen, this is going to work. So the community, no matter how crazy and wild your ideas sound, the community always seems to support it.
And that's I couldn't do it without them, to be honest. So, and that's why the beauty of being who I am and running everything and being in charge of literally everything myself. I do have help. What? No. I'm just saying from a business standpoint, I make all the decisions and I don't have to keep secrets from the people that support my events. So by being honest with them and keeping them, can somebody get this bastard off the show?
Mike, it's just like me with FGX. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
All right, I'm going to come over. People are like, man, Jebailey, can we switch Mike with you? That's exactly what's going to happen. Anyway, so yeah, no, being able to share everything I do makes people feel a part of it. And I think that really helps because everybody wants to be a part of something bigger. I mean, that's when I go to other events, I try to help out as much as I can because I just want to see everything do well. But yeah, everything takes teamwork, but being a strong leader helps too. Because when you believe in yourself and you show people you're confident about what you love doing, that really makes them feel good about helping too.
Fantastic.
It's all psychological, Mike. Go to school.
I did go to school.
Oh, I did go to school. Yeah, Mike, take notes. One thing I definitely want to get into before we do the lightning round here to close the show in a bit is the game Dive Kick. Recently, Mike held an event in St. John, Fight for Infinity, what was it, 6, Mike?
Yeah, 6.
And I showed up and I talked about playing Marvel because I just picked it up like a month ago. And I'm a StarCraft guy regularly. I don't really play fighting games much, but I picked up Marvel, had some fun with it. Mike was like, "You got to train, you got to be good, like learn these combos, etc." And I was like, "It's too hard, it's too hard." I showed up and people were playing Dive Kick, and I'd heard about the game because all the guys at like all the events were always talking about, "Oh, it's coming out soon, coming out soon." And then I finally got to play it and actually got my first tournament win against Adrian Silva, who was there. I beat him in the loser bracket, 2-0'd him. So that was my first taste of fighting victory. I didn't have the chance to play Jebailey. I stuck to Kick. But can you talk me through how you got involved with Dive Kick and how you came to be a character in this game?
Sure. Hopefully Keats isn't listening. No. Basically, Keats, he's actually been a very helpful supporter of CEO, and I've learned everything on organization I've took up after him. And
Not
when
me?
he was,
You didn't learn everything from me?
no, the only thing I learned from Canada was don't fall in love with a Canadian girl, but that's history. Anyways, they just want a green card. Let's move on. So, So basically, what happened? Keats wanted to bring out Dive Kick to CEO, and we had already been talking, and I went to his event and helped out and stuff when I got to play it first, and I genuinely love the game. It's a lot of fun. It's quick and painless to get into, and then it's painful when you lose and you get salty. But I remember one day we were just instant messaging, and he was throwing a few ideas to me, stuff. And literally, I go, "You should put me in the game." And he goes, "Tell me why you should be in the game." All I go was, "Every round I win, my head gets bigger." He literally goes, "You're in the game." And then every other idea was completely his. Like the Hagar, the posing, all the other stuff was just, I helped him write like my story, stuff like that. But all the rest of the stuff totally shocked me and surprised me when he did it. He's a genius, man. He's really funny. Minded and everything. So pretty much once I gave him the idea, he rolled with it, and it ended up working better than any of us expected. Who knew a guy with an ego would work out as a character? And it's been a lot of hype, man. I really think my character's been entertaining and people have been enjoying it. I mean, I still daily get tweets, "I just won with your big ass head," stuff like that. So, but yeah, and I support a lot of stuff that I genuinely believe in. Even if I wasn't in the game, I would still be pushing it. Because it's really popular. I've had it at my last event, had 32 entrants on a Sunday night, which was pretty good. So I support games where the community shows up, and Dive Kick's just a lot of fun. People are enjoying it. As long as they enjoy it, I'm going to keep kicking their ass and enjoying it too.
We're going to have Dive Kick at our tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's super quick. It's super easy. It's 2 buttons. It's like the dream game to just pick up and play.
So accessible, right?
You can play strip dive kick with a lucky lady, man. It's a lot of fun.
Not if she's from Canada, though, right?
What do you think of the technology with using the YOLO gem against Jebailey?
Use the YOLO gem back. I'm just as crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
It's tough, but use it back. That's all you can do.
And do you feel obligated to play yourself every time you play dive kick?
You know, honestly, before, like right after the character first came out, I hated using him. I would use dive because I really wanted to win. But then the game came out and I actually had time to play it. I had like a week early to beta test and stuff. When I actually started playing my character and figuring out what I could do, I only use him now. So he's actually not as bad as people say, man. He can win some shit. So you just got to be patient with him. You got to think like an egomaniac to win. So it works out.
I like it.
This is too much.
And obviously, your parents are aware of what you do. What was their kind of reaction when you came up and said, "Hey, I'm going to be in a video game"?
You know, like 5 years ago, there was like a 4-year period where after college I had to move back in with my parents to save up for my own place. And they grew up with me, seeing me playing video games. They used to drop me off at the arcade for 8 hours at a time and know I was okay. So I grew up as an arcade baby. They've always been supportive. You know, rare knowledge. I won the very first ever World Blockbuster Video Game Challenge in 1993. And that was I still have the trophy in my room somewhere. I'll have to get it sometime.
Nice.
That was what told me I loved video games as a child. I gave up drums and I stopped drawing just to play video games because of that moment. And they supported it, and then I grew up and I still played it. And then when my dad realized it wasn't something I was wasting my money on and I was making money to keep growing and stuff like that, he 100% supports it now. So my family's, I've been great to have a great family support. I have 2 older brothers. They don't play video games anymore. Older sister. So I got into everything because of them. But once I started getting so good at kicking their ass, they stopped playing games when we grew up. So it wasn't fun anymore for them.
Oh. Well, let's see. We got 19 minutes left. I usually like to leave about 15 for the lightning round.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
It's long.
The name lightning round really means nothing. But before we do the lightning round, I do want to give you a chance to give any shout-outs you want to do, things you have coming up. Oh, my God. That's amazing.
Wow. It's one of those, like...
It says Disney World on it. Dude, guess what? December 4th this year is the 20-year anniversary of when I won this.
Wow.
I'm throwing a party, man.
What did you win it in?
I'm sorry, it was Super Nintendo, Super Star Wars, Tasmania. It was basically each week you played a game at your store, and the best score would add up. So after the 3rd week, whoever had the best score from each store went on to the regionals. So I had Tasmania and Star Wars the first 2 weeks. I sucked ass, right? And you don't know what the game is until the week. Or after that, you know, the 2nd week, you find out the 3rd week. So my score is like 50th place in Tasmania, like 10th in Star Wars. The 3rd week was Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Oh, nice.
And all I did was I remember exactly. Just Ken fireball 3 times. It dizzies the opponent, jump in fierce punch DP, and then I would get nonstop perfects. I ended up having the highest score in the state, and it put me all the way to 1st place. And then finals was Magic Johnson Slam Dunk Basketball. And I was only 11 years old, so I never thought of strategy. There was no internet, you know, so I just played whatever I figured it out. So it was basically like the Kid Wizard. I want to go to California.
The star, Jimmy, the star.
I know, right? I figured out a glitch in the Magic Johnson game on my own. It wasn't a glitch, but it was a loophole. In that game, it was impossible to make 3-pointers. Like literally, you had no chance of making threes. And what you could do was if you passed it to the bottom of the 3-point line in the bottom right corner and pump faked, the computer would always try to jump block it every single time. And I would just pump fake, run in for a dunk. I never missed a conversion. And nobody would do it. I was the only person doing it. So I had to go through 9 people, single elimination to win. And I ended up winning a trip for 4 to San Francisco. Got to go to Capcom, GamePro, and EA Sports at the time.
Wow.
Living the life.
I know. When I went to Capcom, that's what made me fall in love with Street Fighter. They showed me like the Super Nintendo. It wasn't a cartridge when they did like they're creating the game. It was just a big like electronics board, like a motherboard plugged into a Super Nintendo. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So that's what happened.
I can see your parents at the time being like, okay, well after this trip, like he'll be done with video games. Like he'll grow out of this.
You want to know the worst thing? The next year, I made it to the grand finals again. I had to go overseas to the Middle East.
Wow.
during this, and I told my parents, like, you sons of bitches, man, because I wanted to win that thing again, and my score like destroyed everyone. And I cried, man. And then the third year I made it to the finals again. I got disqualified because my sister was working at Blockbuster, and they thought
Oh.
they didn't think I cheated, but it was in the rules. Family member. I was like, son of a bitch.
Oh man.
Yeah, I cried, dude, and that's the lesson I learned. You can't win everything.
That's amazing.
So,
That was some story. That was quite entertaining.
thank you.
I really
Don't worry, December 4th, I'm going to go give the play-by-play online.
Be a 4-hour YouTube video. So before we jump into the lightning round, I do want to give you the chance to say your last goodbyes. Give any thanks, any shout-outs you want to do. Where can we watch you, follow you, stalk you, all that jazz?
CEO Jebailey, obviously, and by the way, I really like your layout, guys. It looks really nice.
Thank you.
I do actually do a Monday night show every week, but tonight's Grand Theft Auto, so screw that. Just shout outs to Yazid for bringing me out to Canada. Mike has been so helpful so far, so I'm really excited to work with him and help him out. Yeah, no problem, buddy. Asshole. Anyways, and just thank you to that. Thank you to everyone who supported me. But I'm excited to see what Canada's scene's like. Obviously, it's a lot smaller than the States, but I like to interact with people, so I really look forward to have a good time and stuff like that. That's really it. Shout outs to the whole community and shout outs to esports in general. I'm trying to sneak in there for next year, guys. There might be some big stuff in the works, so I'm excited.
That's
That's what I like to hear.
Before the lightning round, do you want me to answer these two questions from the chat?
Yeah, if you feel the need, go for it.
Somebody asked how many people show up to my bi-monthlies. It depends on the game, but on average, Marvel Street Fighter get like 80 players.
Wow.
A lot of the other stuff get between like 20 and 40. And then question to Jebailey, I hate answering questions like these, but I'm always honest. How much blame should organizers receive when a tournament stream is really laggy, i.e. Evo and CO seem to be able to avoid this problem? I don't know every hotel situation, but mine, you have an option to pay for better internet. And obviously, I want my stream to pull in numbers, and I pay good money to have a strong internet connection because as an organizer, you need to be prepared for everything. And if you want to promote sponsors and have if you want to hit numbers that please people, you really need to think about it in advance, plan it out in advance. So I spend money to get a really good internet connection. Some hotels can vary. Some states honestly do have shitty internet. We just can't get past that. How's Canada's internet? What are you guys at lately?
Pretty fantastic. We're sponsored by Bell Fiber Op, Bell Lion Fiber Op.
That's only up where you are, John.
Stupidly fast. Yeah, it's all of Atlantic Canada. So where we're at in Halifax, or where I run events in New Brunswick, it's stupid good.
Nice.
I get like 150 down, like 50 up.
Oh my God. Yeah, my event CEO, I have get this, 10 down but 50 up.
That's not
Makes
bad.
no sense.
You want the up at least.
Yeah, you want the up. So that's what. But I don't believe in having more than 2 streams at an event. It's great. Honestly, I wish I could do it. I just know it would affect the major streams. But end of the day, tournaments aren't really about the stream. I hate to say it. You got to take care of who's attending first. So if an event has bad stream, but if the people there had a good time, that's really what matters. But I'm a perfectionist. I like to make everybody happy. So, and I'm trying to pull more people into the scene. So as long as you put quality out, more people will appreciate and keep watching. That's why I like to step up the production every year. Fantastic. And you need good internet. Hopefully soon, internet worries everything will be fiber all over the world, like Japan or Korea.
Yeah, really.
That's all we need.
Imagine.
In a dream world. All right, it is time for the lightning round. I'm going to play this video that always freezes. Looks like it did freeze. Takes
Too many
about 10
people.
seconds. Too many people.
It
It's
seems to not
exploit.
freeze like when there's so many bits.
Nah, man, it's just exploit. Got Program of the Year the last 3 years running.
Did it really?
God, no. It's the worst thing on the
Oh,
planet.
God dang you baited me.
So welcome everybody to the lightning round. For those of you who are not familiar, I know Jebailey has watched the 50 episodes prior to this one, so he is familiar with the rules and regulations of the lightning round. But for our fighting game community brethren who have joined us for this one night, I will tell you this. The lightning round is 10 lightning fast questions that will test Jebailey mentally and physically. It will take him to the edge and back, possibly the edge once more. There is no forgiveness. There is no tapping out. There is only pain and shame. So I will ask you once and only once, Mr. Alex Jebailey, are you ready for the lightning round?
I guess.
He's all scared now. He should be.
I am. What kind of questions are these? Do I get any previews?
Oh, God, no.
Here, hold on. I gotta use the bathroom and check your older streams off my phone.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm ready, man. Give it to me.
All right. There is always a hockey-related question because we are a Canadian esports show.
Okay.
So I want to know, how many Panthers games did you go to last year?
0.
That is sad. I don't even know where the Panthers play. Actually, it's not in Orlando, is it?
I think it's Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Yeah. Well, there's the Lightning and the Panthers.
Yeah, I don't
Did
go
you
to hockey games.
You didn't
Nope.
go to either. That's
No.
for shame.
Last time I watched hockey was in the Airborne movie, the rollerblading movie where he had to play ice hockey. Yeah.
Well,
-1. Frank, you keeping score?
yeah.
Damn it.
Fantastic.
Mark Messier. Does that help?
No, that is not a Panther.
Wayne Gretzky?
Good tries.
I asked how many games you went to, not to just name random players.
Paul Coffey.
Number 2, this one's an easy one for you. Your favorite wrestler and/or match of all time?
Favorite indoor match of all time?
Both. You can say both.
Hold on. Indoor or outdoor, or you just mean in general?
No. I said and/or. Favorite wrestler and/or match.
You know what? I have so many favorite wrestlers, but I have to go with Chris Jericho.
Nice.
Favorite match of all time? Shit, man. It's a good question. I really still like The Undertaker's return against Kane in WrestleMania 20.
Wow.
Yep,
Right.
that match always got me going. I mean, if you want to go technical, Iron Man match, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Good call. There we go. Yes.
And just a quick follow-up that isn't worth any points. Do you go to much? I mean, wrestling must come to Orlando pretty regularly, right?
They'll actually be here for their next pay-per-view, I believe, or I think that was last night or tonight, actually. I do go to WrestleMania. I went to 4 years in a row. I did not go last year. But every time there's a pay-per-view, I invite all my friends over and we order and we watch it. So
Nice.
I still keep up from time to time, but not like the Attitude Era
Yeah.
where you were just plugged into that shit.
Nice. Question number 3. So 2 points for that because I appreciate Chris Jericho because he's Canadian.
Yep.
Number 3. Who will win will you win at Frag 4 Cancer?
If nobody from other parts of Canada come or America, yes, I will. But I don't want to enter because the winner gets a free trip to CEO. And thank you to Frag for Cancer for helping out with that. But yeah, I would feel bad if I took away somebody's chance to win, but they tell me they want me to enter. So I'm going to practice up and show them no mercy. Sorry, guys. And afterwards, I'm just going to shake their hand with the biggest smile.
And
Be
somehow
like,
your head will just grow.
Yeah.
2
No
sides.
Orlando for you. No.
Well, guys,
And
looks
loving
like I'm
guests-
going back.
Yeah, Loving STNA started going on the road now. They don't film in Orlando as much anymore. All right,
Okay.
next question.
Yeah, point for that. Good to be
Man,
on.
the stakes should have been high. There should be no return ticket for you. You had to actually win to
Yeah.
get back. That's what should have happened.
We'll fly you out here. How you
That's
getting
actually
on?
not a
That's
bad idea. I wish I could do it.
That should be
So he
that
gets
should
the
be how
points
you
there?
step up your next tournament. You'll bring people in, but to leave they have to win. Question number 4, of course, Grand Theft Auto 5 will be released tonight at midnight. And you said yourself you're going to be picking it up.
Yes.
Correct? What's the first thing you're going to be doing in Grand Theft Auto 5?
Well, online's not out until October 1st, so I'm gonna kill some bitches. No, I'm gonna play the story mode. I play them all just because the sheer scope of what an amazing game it is and how much effort they put into it.
Yep.
Play the story mode. I mean, that's really it. So just you got to do the install. Actually, I just read on Twitter somebody told me the 8 gig install for PlayStation 3 only took 17 minutes. So
That's not bad.
that's not bad at all, actually. Yep. So, yeah, but first thing I'm going to be doing is playing it or putting it in my PlayStation 3. What kind of a question is that?
Come on now. Have you not been on Reddit in the past 6 months where every second post is the first thing I'm doing is this?
Oh, no, I didn't. Were there some funny answers?
No, not really. They're all pretty shit.
Oh.
Zero points for challenging me on that question. Question number 5. I want to know your dream matchup between wrestlers and fighting game community members. Either in a fighting game or in a wrestling match. Your choice.
Man, me versus Vince McMahon would be hilarious. I kind of consider myself the Vince McMahon of the FGC. Gosh, man. Rock, I actually idolize Rock. For a guy at his age still working out harder than pretty much anyone else in the world, it's incredible. Man, I don't know. Oh, actually, I do. You know what? Let's put Yokozuna versus Mike in a match. I'll take Yokozuna against Mike.
I think everybody in the world would.
All right.
Can I bring a gun?
I'm pretty sure
Well, he's
Yokozuna
dead,
is
so
dead.
you're safe.
Oh, I
So
just
you're
got
fighting a
owned.
ghost from
Yep.
behind the
That's even harder, wouldn't it be? Well,
He's got skills. All right, point for that. Question number 6. You know the ins and outs of Disney. I want to know your favorite Disney mascot.
Favorite Disney mascot? Ooh, that's a good question. Sora.
I don't know who that is.
I'm trying to think. Are you talking like
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom
That's
Hearts?
Disney.
Never played
good?
it.
That was a good answer. That was really clever.
Sora.
Sorry, I'll give it to you. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Number 7, you said you do venture back to Canada a couple times. The best Canadian beer.
Alexander Keats, baby.
Not our
That's the
sponsor.
Isn't that the only one people still talk about?
No. Our show is sponsored by Alpine Lager.
Hold on. Please repeat the question.
No, there will be no repeats. The correct answer was, in fact, Alpine, so 0 points are awarded.
My bad.
Yeah. Question number 8. I want to know your favorite esports outside of fighting games.
Ooh. CSGO, man. I used to play a lot of CS 1.6, so I'm glad to see CSGO's getting a big push. I've played League of Legends, I've played Dota. I just don't have time to sit there for 40, 50 minutes without any distractions and then end up getting bodied and yelling at my teammates for an hour. So that's 2 hours gone. So
Yeah, I see
Every
like
night.
MOBAs like Dota and League being the exact opposite of a fighting game. It's you and 4 people cooperating for an hour-long match.
yeah, so I
Instead of
appreciate
just,
the
like, 5
game.
minutes of-
I admire their companies, and I've played with friends that have a great time with it. I don't have that kind of time, man. So to play long ass, that's why I like fighting games, man. You're in and out. You're in and out.
Like that. It's
Yep.
filthy. 1 point for that.
Got it.
Yay.
Question number 9. Currently, you're at 5 points out of a possible 8. Doing quite well, actually.
Thank you.
Especially for a trader.
You got my last answer right, Alpine.
Question number 9. How much of you dies when Jebailey loses?
Oh man, I feel it. I had a tournament, a bar fights tournament last week, and I would walk around. Every time I saw somebody headshot me, I'd walk up to him like, "You son of a bitch, man!" And I would like try to put pressure on my hand so it looked like I just got bruised. Be like, "Look what you did to me!" So yeah, but every time I would win, like I was at Evo actually this year, and that was the first time Jebailey was publicly playable. And every time people would play it, I would be like, I would just know from like across the room. I would run over there and just stand right next to the guy and just stare at the screen. And he wouldn't even realize I was there until like 2 minutes later. He's like, "Oh my God." And there was one point where me and Markman saw people playing, like, "Let's go over there." And he would coach the other guy. I would coach the other guy. So yeah, I feel it, man. When I lose, I feel it.
Damn, that sounds fun. Point for that.
Yay.
So 6 out of a possible 9 coming into the final question. Question 10 is notoriously the hardest yet most fun question.
Can we just stay at 9 questions? I like having a score of 6-9.
You would. No, we cannot, because question 10 is quite good.
Oh.
Frag for Cancer, of course, coming up October 19th and 20th in Halifax. You'll be there. Temple will be there. I'll be there. Mike Daniels. These 2 losers beside me will not be here.
Thanks, Sean.
There, sorry, but
Thanks,
So
man.
sad. So
it's
sad.
going to be a massive event. And for massive events, you need massive hype, and there's no massive hype like a wrestling promo. So, for your final question, I want you to give your best wrestling promo. You can do it as yourself, you can do it as The Rock, as Stone Cold, as The Undertaker, whoever you want, but I want to hear the best wrestling type promo for Frag for Cancer. Oh my God, he just rolled his eyes at the back of his head.
I can do Paul. Oh, Daniels, you're gonna get it. That was my shitty Paul Bearer. Man, that's a good one. Hold on, I got to be standing up and all that, but that's too much effort. Give me a second.
Yep, no problem.
You know what? I'm a terrible actor, guys. I got to be honest with you. This is gonna take me a moment. Believe it or not, when I'm put on the spot, I suck. Let's see. God, man. Do I pick on Mike or do I hype up the event? Shit.
The needs of many
Why not
outweigh
both?
the needs of the few. Why not both?
All right, I'll give you my cheesy Hulk Hogan impression, okay?
Okay.
Let me tell you something, brothers. If you don't come out to frag I can't do it.
You can get a redo. You can get a redo. You
I
got
have
this.
bronchitis, so every time I go crazy talking, I start to choke. That's my excuse. Man, a good one. I gotta be original here. Give me a second. I can do the Undertaker and just roll my eyes. No, that's too boring. Let's see. Guys, I got nothing, man. I failed this question. I'm sorry.
What?
I don't like to get cheesy, man. I'm professional.
You're the wrestling guy, though.
That is true. That's
Hulk
true.
Hogan was pretty good. I
Hulk
like
Hogan
the
was
start
pretty
of
good.
it.
All right. Let me get the Hulk Hogan. I get that
All
first.
right.
All right. Let me tell you something, Jamaniacs. October 19th and 20th in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'm going to be there to kick Mike Daniels' ass. If you're not there, yeah, you're a death to society. There you go.
That was incredible.
Oh, good lord.
Please don't put this to YouTube.
Oh, it's immediately going on YouTube. Wow. When you
I'm going to work on that. I'll be much more hype.
I want one at Frag for Cancer, and I'll record it and we'll put it on the show.
Done. It'll be done.
That was fantastic. When you said Jamaniacs, I lost it.
That was pretty good.
You were at 6 points out of a possible 10. I think that's worth 3.5. 3.5.
Nice.
Oh,
3.5.
You know, I did do a wrestling promo on a YouTube video once for CEO last year with Markman from Mad Cats. I'll link it to you guys in the chat.
Yeah, it's really, really, really good.
So, Alex, you finished with 9.5 out of 10, which, of course, does qualify you for the Tournament of Champions for the Lightning Round, happening at the end of the year, where we bring back the top 16 scores to compete in a tournament-style showdown.
So
There's
that's
no
how
way
you
you're
get
keeping
people to
track
come
of
back.
that shit, John. There's no way.
So that's how you get
Bullshit.
people to show up again.
That's not actually a thing. It's not. But you got excited. Admit it.
debated once again.
So that just about does it for our show this evening. I'd like to thank our guest, Alex Jebailey. Alex, do you have any last words?
Just thanks, guys, for having me on, man. I love what you guys are doing. Great presentation with the show.
Thank you.
I hope to meet all of you, whoever can make it. So, Frag for Cancer, man, I'm going to be Thursday night. Please, somebody take me out to party, because that's probably going to be the first night where I get to sleep in into Friday.
I won't be there till Friday night.
I'm sorry? Oh, where are you from?
St. John, New Brunswick.
That's like 2 hours?
3.5.
Oh, close enough.
So I got to come up after work on Friday.
That's cool. What's the weather going to be like, man? Am I going to be freezing?
It'll probably be fairly cold. It's not going to be like ungodly -20, but it'll probably be like +5 at the most.
Nice. Okay, good. I'm excited, guys. Keep doing what everyone's doing. We're all doing this because we love it as a hobby. So just keep it up. And if you come out to Frag for Cancer, man, hit me up. Let's play some games.
Like that, I challenge you to dive kick.
100. Let's do it. I'll even play you blindfolded.
Wow. To close out the show, Alex, feel free to take off. We're just going to be here for another 3 minutes to close out the show. But
I am going to take off. I got Grand Theft Auto because GameStop lied to me, those sons of bitches. They said be there at 6 to get a check-in number. I got there at 6:10 right after work. They go, oh, Rockstar called us today. It's at 9:15 now.
Wow.
I'm like, you son of a bitch. So, all right.
Well, good
all
luck
right, guys.
with that.
Thank you,
so
guys.
much,
Take
Alex.
care.
Bye.
I'll see you all
Thanks a lot,
around.
Alex. Have a good one.
Thank
You too.
And thank you, Mr. Mike Daniels, for also helping set that up and get all the questions and stuff.
Oh, Mike's the best.
No problem, guys.
Mike's pretty good.
I'm a pretty good punching bag, too.
You guys are going to have a lot of fun, I can tell.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
Alex just stays in here. He's definitely going to drop any second, and then I'll have to do the screen reasons again. But I'll wait for that. Things going on that we need... There he goes. Things going on that we need to plug before we sign off here, ladies and gents?
What about right after this show? People should stick around because Dave got bored, Ender Sword got bored, and he's hosting a StarCraft tournament. It's going to be playing right on this channel.
That's
That
true.
sounds
I
super
can
exciting.
put the link here. Are the registrations closed? If anybody plays StarCraft,
It's filled. It's filled.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
$20 is on the line.
The other thing is next week we'll be having Sean Antman, one of our CSGO guys from the Esports Canada community, and we're also going to try to find some other people as well, just to talk about all the CSGO stuff that's been happening lately. Daniels, apparently you know some big people as well as yourself. So we may be in communications. We'll try to figure this out for next week. But other than that, I think some big things are going to be announced soon, but nothing that we can really divulge quite yet. I will say congratulations to Mr. John Quinn for becoming a director again for Esports Canada.
I think you're just saying that so I can tell everyone that you're now officially a director.
Thank you, John.
Pretty
That's so
sure.
nice. Thank you.
Pretty sure that was your motive there.
I was just giving you props. I did this last year. I said confession done.
Yeah, and we're having our first official board meeting tomorrow night of the new board, so that'll be fun.
Am I a director?
God, no.
Oh.
Pretty sure you're not even.
Am I a director?
Am
It
I
just
a
seems like
director?
everyone on the show is the director, so I figured
Nick's
I
not.
must be a director.
Nick's not.
I don't know why I'm here.
He's getting
Why am I
fired,
here?
right? So how can he be a director?
Exactly.
Great.
Guys, come on.
Nick is the heart and soul of this operation.
Stuff.
So, guys, for any of you that missed any of that, we'll be up tomorrow on YouTube, youtube.com/esports_Canada, or just eSports Canada.
Yeah.
eSports Canada TV. Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't plugged
And
that in
so next
forever.
time, I'm going to go to check, and also thanks to Alex who puts them up all the time. So,
Yeah, good guy.
Yeah, good guy, Alex. And next week we'll be talking about CSGO as well as whatever else is happening in the esports world. WCS Season 3 Finals in Toronto, of course, happening the end of October, and I'm getting super hyped up for that. So we'll be doing some countdown to that. I believe WCS America Season 3 started not too long ago, just as the show started, with Hack, Buell, Arthur, and Alive facing off in Group D action. And Scarlet goes on in 2 weeks' time, 2 weeks from tonight on October 1st with Minigun Crank and Puck. And when's Huck's group? And Huck's the night before, September 30th, with Tasia, Top, and Major. I feel like he can get out of that group. No?
Yeah.
Yes?
I've always supported him, so I'll blindly follow him.
I'll blindly
Follow him anywhere.
So, thank you tonight to our guest, Alex Jebailey. You can follow him at CEO Jebailey or at CEO Gaming. And, of course, the website is ceogaming.org. Make sure to come out to Frack for Cancer 8, happening in Halifax, Nova Scotia, October 19th and 20th. If you are in the area, or if you're close, it is definitely worth the drive. We are playing a ton of different games: League of Legends, StarCraft, Dota, Marvel, AE, Injustice. Mike, is that happening? Maybe.
It's an unlockable.
There's a bunch of different games. Head to frankforcancer.com and you can sign up, check out the Steam, and all of that much stuff.
I hope you guys stream you playing Alex in that.
Well, yeah, I'm going to play a dive kick on stream for show. And, of course, thank you to Mike Daniels tonight for joining us. He's our in-house fighting guru guy. And tomorrow night is Ralston Casuals for AE.
We'll be running casuals and brackets tomorrow for Marvel. Yeah, we took last week off because we had tournament hangover from FFI 6, but we'll be back at it tomorrow night. So you'll be able to see Marvel casuals and then a bracket tomorrow like usual. So see all the people who got salty about FFI, try and grind it out and get better.
I like that a lot.
Sorry, really quickly, Tony just linked us to a whole bunch of stuff that's happening apparently.
Oh, wow.
Do you see that? Okay, so let me just put these in chat real quick before we have to end the show. If you guys are interested in Dota 2, there's going to be a Overclock.net Dota 2 challenge. It's a $2,500 prize pool. So that should be pretty sick. And if I know anything about this, it should be some pretty cool... Is this going to be streamed? If it's going to be streamed, it should be pretty amazing. These guys do awesome stuff. Sorry?
Huh?
What?
I was saying that's enough.
Okay.
So make sure to follow us on Twitter at esports_Canada and on Facebook.com/esportscanada. And we do the show every Monday night at 8 Eastern, twitch.tv/esportscanada.tv.
Where's the cane for Frank to just get pulled off the stage?
Why can't I talk about this stuff? Because you're bad at Dota, John?
Filibustering.
I don't even.
John, you're the worst Ricky I've ever seen. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Maybe Mike Daniels will be the production guy.
Stop, John.
Frank, just be like me. John will never get mad at you.
No, Quinn will never take control of the entire show. I'll always have the small corner. Unless he's muting me, I don't know.
You obstruct. Tony, thanks for the dictionary.